Good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. And I want to take a moment and wish every one of you a very happy new year. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. We had a very low-key holiday, but it was beautiful. It was spent with family and I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas too. Today's video is I'm going to take you along and share with you my favorite savory breakfast ideas. So come with me to the kitchen and we'll get started. We're going to use some moong dal. You can get these at pretty much any grocery store, supermarket nowadays. This recipe is perfect for meal prep. You can do this the day you're meal prepping, so over the weekend, and it will last you about 3 to 4 days in the fridge. So it's a great one to do the initial prep in advance as well. A couple of ways you can do this. You can soak the dal overnight and process it in the morning, or you can do this entire process the night before or the day before rather, and the mix will be ready for you as and when you need it during the week. I'm going to start with a cup of moong dal. This is half a cup, so that's half. And that's another half, that makes 1. All we're going to do with this is wash this under cold running water and soak this for about 6 hours or overnight. Or what we're making with this moong dal omelettes. Now, omelettes made from eggs were one of my absolute favorite things before we decided to cut down on animal products and try and embrace a few more plant-based options. So that was one thing I really missed. That paired with some beautiful hot buttered toast or a freshly made chapati is heaven on a plate for breakfast. And I'm sure a lot of you that have had a good masala omelette will agree. So this is my take on it. Yeah, so 1 cup of moong dal, we're going to wash it, soak it, and I'll show you how the rest comes together. So it's been about 6 to 8 hours that the dal has been soaking for. All I'm going to do is drain this out and rinse it a couple of times under cold running water. And there you have it. Now, like you can see, this quantity has increased. If there is a little water left behind, don't worry too much about it, because we are going to grind this now with a little bit of water. What we're looking for is a nice paste. You don't want it runny. So add the water in gradually as you go. I usually just eyeball the water, but I'm going to measure this out and let you know how much water I've used. I've started with about half a cup of water and I'm adding nothing else to the dal at this stage. We'll season it and flavor it up when we're ready to cook this. And we've got a nice paste going here. I didn't need to add any more water or anything else to this, and this is the consistency that I've got. Now, if your paste is a little thicker than this, that's fine too. You can continue to add water just before the cooking process, and I'll take you to that in a bit. This paste or batter is now ready to use. At this point, if you're meal prepping, you can put this in an airtight container and store it in the fridge. Now, when you're ready to cook these omelettes, you're just going to need a few things. This is how I personally like to make my masala omelettes. You can, from now on, you can pretty much tweak the spices and the add-ins the way you like. All right, what I'm going to use is a little bit of onion. I'll probably use about 1/3 of this for 2 omelettes. I'm putting in 1 Thai bird's eye chili. I've got a few cherry tomatoes that I'm going to cut up, and I'm also going to put in some coriander. So I've put all those chopped veggies and ingredients into a bowl that I'm going to use to mix my omelette batter. And into this, I'm going to add some salt to taste. I go a little easy on the regular salt because this recipe also uses kala namak or black salt to give it that egg-like flavor. And just remember to adjust these to your preferences. Some black pepper. I'm going in with a little garlic powder. I'm not using fresh garlic for this because I just want a slightly subtle flavor. So about, I'd say, 1/8 of a teaspoon. About the same of turmeric. A couple of pinches should do the job just fine. And I'm going to use some kala namak or black salt. I've just decanted it into this bottle. The packet that I got was massive, so I'd say about another 1/4 teaspoon perhaps. And I'm just going to mix all of this together. And we're going to use some of that moong dal paste that we previously made. Now this, like you can see, because it's been sitting in the fridge, has also thickened up a little bit. I'd say about a 1/4 cup or so per omelette. Again, this depends on how big or small you want to make those omelettes. So just add this in gradually. Give it a good mix. I'm just going to add a couple of spoons of water in here, one at a time. So just a little bit to thin this down. You know what an omelette mix looks like. So you're looking for something that's a little bit fluid, a little more fluid than a pancake batter. So this is what my mix looks like. I'm happy with this and I'm going to take this over to the stove top and now cook this off. There's just one thing you need to be a little watchful of. This omelette takes a little more time to cook than your typical omelette made from eggs. So what I like to do personally, because I prefer the edges a little crusty, I like to layer this when I'm frying. I like to lay this down fairly thin so that I don't have a very fluffy or a very thick omelette, and cook this over a medium heat till I get a nice sort of edge on that omelette, and then I flip it and cook it on the other side. I'll show you how, but now this is completely up to you. If you cook it on a flame or on a heat that's too high, you will get that crustiness on the outside, but the inside will still be a little raw. There's nothing wrong with that. These are just lentils, so even if it is a little raw, that's completely fine, but I prefer mine to be cooked through. And here we go. This is what the omelette looks like. I like mine to have that little crust. I think it just enhances the entire flavor. Like you can see, I'm waiting for my camera to focus. It has cooked through. It has cooked right through, so I'm really happy with how that has turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe for my moong dal omelettes, and I hope you give it a try. They turn out really tasty. You can have this plain by itself. Even for a lunch or a dinner, serve it with a side salad, and it makes for a really light but still wholesome meal. For a typical breakfast that serves up masala omelette, serve it with some buttered toast or some freshly made roti or chapati, and you've got yourself an absolute treat. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and this recipe. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with family and friends, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye.